Gordon. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Realmhattan Project. I am your backup host. Wolfie is truly seeing if everything really is bigger in Texas, which, coming from someone who's 5'0", is probably the answer is going to be yes. He had a picture earlier today of the world's biggest pair of boots. They were a size 13, and he's got tiny feet. But joining me tonight is my brother Gort, EE Prime. Gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing good.
Fine.
I love the enthusiasm. So, anything good going on for the calls this week? Ready? I guess is anyone taking all the next week off or anything like that?
Nope.
I'm working.
I'm going right to work on Thursday.
Oh, I'm off Thursday and Friday, but I'm working Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Gotcha. I am one of the perks of being an old man in my job. 19 years. I'm at that point where I'm accumulating more time than I can burn. So I'm just taking. I got the next 9 days off and then work.
Oh, nice.
Mustache is falling apart. And then work 3 weeks, and I'm off 2 weeks for the Christmas break. So, they're not really keen on us taking a lot of time off during the school year. So, just take it off when we get it. No, that's fine. So,
it's a good time for it.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean it's the best time of the year. No pun intended towards any Christmas songs or anything like that. So, but anyway, so I figured I'd start off tonight with like something, and no pun intended in this, just a light, quick poll thoughts on the matter before we get into our individual things. When it comes to Christmas lights, incandescent or LED, is there a preference? What do you prefer? Does it matter if it's inside or outside? Because I know at least two of us are in here are very much Christmassy kind of mood people, already ready to go.
What was your question again?
LED versus incandescent Christmas lights.
I don't give a shit.
Don't give a shit.
That I don't. Whatever lights look better, it's a mix of whatever. I don't give a fuck about LED, incandescent.
I could tell you for sure. All the lights on the tree, that's all LED, but that's also all there is. But I bought a fake tree 10 years ago, clearanced. It was a nice like 6 foot or 6.5 or whatever it is, like Virginia pine or something like that. It looks good. Like, it's a good looking tree. I had it in a box in my basement for 10 years. I moved. Like, we moved after that. So I'm in this house almost 10 years. And this is the first year that I've opened it up and got that set up. And I didn't even remember what ornaments I had. And then you find some of them, you're like, oh, fuck did I buy this for? You throw that out. Like, we're not putting that on the tree. There was like a big red ball that said Bazinga. That's Big Bang Theory. I don't like that show. I
love that show.
Like, that's not going on the tree.
I should have sent it to me.
No.
I'd have put a Bazinga on the tree.
No. No, you don't need a fucking bazinga. But yeah, tree looks good this year. One of the things, I don't even remember buying this, but we had a set of all the M&Ms, like all the different colors. Like put that up on the tree. I was like, that's pretty cool.
We just bought a Christmas story ornament that we saw of the lamp, the fragile lamp. And it was funny. My wife saw that and she's like, "Oh, we got to get it," but I was kind of shocked that she was like, "Buy it." She doesn't have much of a measurable sense of humor.
Um, my personal opinion is I feel like, and this is I'm sure nostalgia kicking in. The tree to me is incandescent light. Outside decorating is LEDs. Like I feel like LEDs, you see more blues, which then blend in with the reds to make kind of a purpley. It's almost like everything outside's gumdrop style. You know what I mean? But incandescence for the tree all day long, just because that's what I had as a kid, and that's what means the most to me. And I've seen now because my wife's, we've got this fake tree we got 2007 somewhere around there, but she wants a new one. And one thing I've noticed now is they're going to almost like these pinpoint LEDs.
Yep, they're all LEDs. Just about all the fake trees.
What was that, buddy?
Just about all the fake trees are LEDs now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like it's just very tiny LEDs, and I'm like, they don't even look like it anymore. But
well, I mean,
look a lot more fake too.
I just stood my tree up right before the show, right? Let the branches start hanging and settle in before we start decorating. I'll turn it on and I'll show you what it looks like. It's a free lit tree, LED 7-foot. You get an idea. I'll send you pictures.
Oh, you're good. I'm just saying.
No, maybe maybe it'll help. In you see it in a home setting as opposed to a store set up this way.
Okay, makes sense.
It ain't that hard for me to snap a picture and send it your way. I mean, come on.
This is true. Oh. So, yeah, that's just a little. I'm starting to see lights pop up in the neighborhood. We're going to be doing our at least our outside decorating tomorrow. Probably don't start if it doesn't rain. So, I figure it's getting to be that time. I started listening to Christmas music last month, so well before Mariah Carey thawed out.
No, the lights are on the windows and outside. Whatever needs to go outside is outside. The Lego Christmas Village is on display now on the windowsill, and the tree this weekend.
Nice. And you take your Lego Village, you take that apart every year, right?
Well, this is only the second year I've ever done it. Last year was the first year, so.
I'm sorry. What I meant was like you took it apart.
Yeah, I take it apart. Yeah.
Now, do you do it in like chunks, or is it like completely apart?
I completely apart.
Gotcha.
And re-inventory at all as I'm doing it to see if I lost anything that needs to be replaced.
Like all the brown bricks.
Oh, that set. We're not going to get into that fucking set.
So, but yeah, that was just a little light opener, because it's just something that popped in my head as I was looking out the window.
I got what you did. Light.
That's what there was no pun. There was no pun intended.
LED. I got what you. I see what you did there. I see what you did.
Thank you. But yeah, I said at the beginning. I said there's no pun intended. But so, Gort, you or E want to go next? Like, which one y'all want to really kick this off?
Oh, I'm gonna let Gort go first.
Let's see.
Tell me why you're mad.
Let me think. How do I start this one? So it's influenced by a couple things, and even just today there was something that like kind of adds into it. I think in one of our group chats about the Tron HasLab, and like this is a HasLab that for any number of reasons, this one does miss the mark. It's coming out alongside a movie, so you're putting out a Tron thing alongside a Tron movie. I get it, but this is a movie that seems to have been not particularly well received, I'm not under the impression people hated it, but it didn't do numbers exactly. And this HasLab is not doing numbers. It's doing currently, I think, worse than the Riva lightsaber was doing. So
Ouch.
that's not good. Um, but that's that thing. Like what is it to miss the mark? And like what would have been the right answer? Did this movie need to be a better movie? Did this need to be a product for this movie, not 45-year-old movie? Like what is it that you needed? And what is that? So yeah, other instances though of like something that might miss the mark, or it was people might not care. This is, like, forgive me, I'm citing Enter the Realm, but like they were talking about like K-pop Demon Hunters and Predator, Badlands, Hot Toys and stuff coming out a year from now, and like that it misses the mark or that the interest won't be there. And it just struck me as funny. I'm like, this is a show and a fandom, and I see this frequently said elsewhere. It's not specific to the show, but people always make these comments. I'm like, you're all buying toys that are based on 40-year-old cartoons.
Hmm.
What do you mean it misses the mark that it comes out a year later? From a movie. Like, yeah, it makes sense to have your product launch alongside something. I get it, but is it really missing the mark to come out a year later? And I feel like the answer is definitely no. Like, not at all. Like, people want that, and there's desire for it. It's gonna sell. In fact, like the Demon Hunters thing, that sold out, and then they had to put up more pre-orders. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it was no cancellations, right?
I think you had a call to cancel.
Okay. But still, like, if you have people kind of seemingly locked in, I think that that's good. But that desire is definitely there. I think that stuff's going to continue, you know. uh, But like, I'm really standing on that thing. Like 40-year-old cartoons, like why is that okay? Why is that getting a pass? It
All right.
didn't hit the mark.
So
Or more funny to me, when War for Cybertron stuff would still be coming out from, say, Planet X as third-party product, or even Hasbro now doing it in the game series, um, and you get that like mentality of it misses the mark. Like, does it? I mean, those games are just over 10 years old, right?
Hmm.
As opposed to, once again, the 40-year-old cartoon. Why do we need so much G1? Why can't we have other things? And it's just an interesting thing. Um, they always say, especially with Transformers, that everything, whatever the current thing is, that's somebody's G1. Unicron Trilogy, I don't care for that stuff, but that's somebody's G1. And, there's companies that still, third party or otherwise, like, you're getting that material a little bit, not in mass though, but like everything really is like, in terms of Transformers, like it's G1. And same thing with G.I. Joe. It's like, there's not room for interpretation. It's got to be like that G1 equivalent, right? Like that Sunbow cartoon, that Marvel comic. That's what people want. They don't want other shit. They don't want the updated looks. Hasbro tried that when Classified launched, and I thought that they had the general right idea. I think some things were landing much better than others. Like Duke didn't look bad at launch, and Scarlet looked kind of doofy, but it didn't. I didn't hate that figure. I didn't care for the Roadblock. Like, he looked visually too different as a character, but
Hmm.
you know, it went right back to that vintage style because that's what people want. Like, there's like this inability to disconnect from it, I find. So I'm kind of rambling here. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on all this?
so couple things, right?
Yeah.
Well, when compare, you can't compare Hot Toys Predator coming out in a year from now to K-pop, and the reason why Predator has been, you can't, and this goes back to Transformers also. You can't really say you're missing the mark on a franchise. This is a franchise that has been around for 30, 40 years. Transformers, 40 years old. They're always putting out. They put out plenty of Predator movies. We've seen Transformers revitalized over and over and over again. So there is no really missing the mark with these franchises that never died, right? So it comes out in a year from now. That's
Well,
fine.
and
K-pop,
that's a fair point to make against, like you're saying, K-pop is
yeah.
is new.
K-pop
It's
is a
never-
little is different because this was a This is brand new, right? It was a Netflix original, and I don't think anybody expected it to become this global phenomenon that it became. It is the most successful Netflix original show that's been done. That includes things like Stranger Things and all the other things that they've done. Nothing has been more popular or bigger for Netflix so far to date than K-pop Demon Hunters. It's kind of wild. So nobody knew. And once people started seeing this thing blow up, I'm sure these toy companies started trying to fight for this license because as
Yeah.
of right now, there are no official toys for this license by any company, right? Mattel is the first one to get the global product license, and yeah, it took them 2 3 months after this movie launched to get it. And I'm pretty sure they just got it, and they announced this quick. Hey, we're putting out these dolls. These are renders. We don't even have prototypes for them, and yeah, it's going to take a while. I I don't think with these dolls coming out next year, you're really missing anything, except for the Christmas rush this year. Um, but I get it, right? Why are you going to buy a license on something that you don't know? Companies are less adverse to take these risks now. um, with the market that we have right now. Companies don't want to do it. So they saw this, so everybody saw this phenomenon, and
Hmm.
now people are jumping in. I think the miss of the mark for K-pop itself is the sequel doesn't come out for another 4 years,
Yeah.
2029.
Yeah.
Ouch.
They're missing the mark,
Yeah.
right?
That well,
I
that's
think
that's
Mattel is
not.
going to be okay with this initial run of whatever the fuck they do. But 4 years is a long time in an 8 year old girl's eyes, right? My
The
daughter is 8. She
you're
is 8.
you're right about that, but the thing is, it's less a miss the mark and just the unfortunate nature of how animation works when it's that
Yeah,
quality. Like, it's not cheap animation.
Mm-mm.
no, I get what you're saying, and
Yeah.
maybe missing the mark is not the really correct way to say it, but
Just call it adjacent to what the
you know,
situation is.
in 4 years from now, is my
Mm.
daughter gonna care about K-pop? Who knows? She's 8 years old right now. I know.
If it comes out
I'm
and
not gonna have a.
if it has songs that are as good and it can land and the story is good and all that stuff, it's gonna do what it did again. It'll happen
Yeah,
again,
but will
and
it
they'll
will it
be
happen for
prepared
my
this time.
daughter? No, I don't know.
But
Well, what
something
age is it
something I
aimed
Eh,
at, really?
what's
well,
that?
I mean, it's a kid show. It's aimed for these girls this age, 8 to whatever I would say.
So do you
Um,
think that I'm curious then, is it going to be like your daughter's, you said is 8? So is she going to be then to other things, and it's not really going to be aimed at so much like, yeah, it's going to have that idea of bringing some of those kids back, but it's going to be aimed at now targeting another group of that 8 to
exactly.
10ish
You
years
know,
old kind of thing.
will lightning strike twice? Who knows? We'll see in 4 years from now. Um,
Well,
now
something that I wondered about
we're
is, as a group, if they were to make songs in the meantime, that's that thing that will keep it alive without the animation.
maybe,
It could.
maybe.
Yeah.
And regarding the whole Tron situation, I don't think. And look, say what you will, Jared Leto, Haslab, but this was never. There was nothing that could be done that was going to make this successful.
Not at
Tron
$10,000.
just does not have that fan following to do this. 10,000, 8,000, they just don't. It is. I don't care.
I think Thor would be pushing it.
I've heard everyone who I saw actually who saw this movie. No one said anything really bad about it, right? Just nobody cares about Tron in general. So it don't matter if you launched a HasLab a week before, a month after. It was never going to back because Tron just does
Mhm.
not have that following. You know,
No.
Avatar, right? Let's say you did a fucking Avatar, fucking HasLab. I still don't think I don't care how much money those movies have made. I don't think an Avatar one would back. There's just some franchises that people just you're not going to get people to buy in on this enough. Like, you're asking 10,000 backers, which is a lot. It's not cheap. They were cheaply made, and it's Tron. It's fucking Tron. In the end, that's the answer. It's
Yeah.
fucking Tron.
Yeah.
Whoever the fuck
Yeah.
greenlit this shit should be fucking fired at Hasbro. I
Yeah.
mean, it's embarrassing how bad this is doing.
And like this right here, like this is true. Like none of them have done well. None.
Exactly.
They've
That's
been
exactly the
fine.
point.
They're just levels of fine. I didn't hate. I haven't seen the most recent one, but the first two, like, I didn't hate them. I thought they were fine,
Yeah.
but like, I don't also have a desire to really kind of go back and rewatch them. Like, this would be something like when I am ready to watch the third one, I may go back and watch the first and second one. I may not, but they're just varying levels of fine. And I think this would have been aimed more at like the limited release collector section in the back of Target or the back of Walmart or something like that
Mm.
at best.
Maybe, and it would have sat there, and it would have went on clearance. But it doesn't matter because nobody's looking for it. Look, for these HasLabs, right, to do these properties for a successful HasLab, right, you need one a hugely popular property, and you need to put out a good product to back it.
Mm-hmm.
GI Joe, Transformers, Ghostbusters. These are Star Wars. These are massively huge properties that have been around for a long time, just like Tron. Tron has been around for a while. That first movie came out what, over 40 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, right? But it was never big. It never it never got the following to do something like this. And 10,000 backers, you know what that tells me? That's the Disney tax. That's the
Mm-hmm.
fact that this is a Disney property, and anything that Hasbro has to do Disney not only costs more, but since it costs more, there's less that can go into the product.
Yeah.
And you can compare. You could just look at the difference between a Star Wars Black Series figure and a GI Joe classified figure.
Yep.
That right there tells you how much of that licensing
true.
fee is eating into it, and that's probably why it's at 10,000 backers, because they need to make enough money to satisfy the licensing fee and obviously turn a fucking profit. I get it. You were a company, you turn profit. I'm not mad at them for the price or the backers. I'm mad at them for just thinking Tron was a good idea in general.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you a question about that. Do you think if they tried other things using the HasLab platform as a revival method, what if instead of handing over I just can't even think of the name of the company right now. Who's doing Mask? What's that shit?
Loyal subjects.
Loyal
Yeah.
subjects.
But what if instead of giving them the license, they just said, here's that same first wave, but it's a HasLab. And you're paying a similar fee if you were to buy all 4 of those from the other company, right? What if it was about the same price or
I
less?
think if-
Because
I don't
now
know.
you're packaged
I
deal.
think what we've seen in the past where they do like that limited window pre-order, I think that would work for that. I don't necessarily think it has HasLab where if
but the
it
limited-
meet the goal or nothing would work.
But the limited window is when you already have something that's established. When I don't know if that works for like something that may end up being one off in that.
See,
avenue.
Mask
If
is
you have a
funny.
successful HasLab like that, but see, now I'm second guessing it because you put out like a set of 4 things, like say Mask, but then what happens if you want to make more? Is it another HasLab, or do you just put out a toy line? And what about the people that didn't buy in? Do you make it available? Because it
I think
opens up that
I
discussion.
I
think
think you test the waters.
I think you do it for Mask, right? If you were going to use this to relaunch a property, you do a Boulder Hill as a HasLab to launch it.
I can see that.
Okay.
You do something like that, not necessarily 4 vehicles. You do something like that to let one of it's going to let people, it's going to let your customer base know, oh, they're serious. This might not be a just one and done thing. You let them know, look, this HasLab backs. We're going to continue with Mask. If you're going to, Hasbro is now talking about this new subline. They're bringing back 375 stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
let's say you're going to try to relaunch 3 3/4 GI Joe. It's got to be something big. It's got to be like a Defiant or a
Hmm.
Terradrome, something like that. That's what you use to relaunch these properties, right? Um, I don't. I again, yeah. Just to backtrack a little bit, I don't think Tron in any way, shape, or form would have been is going to be successful for them. I don't. I mean, you didn't even do a Power Rangers HasLab, and I think Power Rangers is a lot bigger than Tron ever was
Mm,
Oh,
agreed.
that's fair. Yeah.
as a property, and you didn't even try that. You never. You didn't. You could have put out a big Megazord or something, and you never even attempted it, and it didn't do well. Like from my not to my knowledge, um, the Lightning Collection wasn't a great selling point for them, which is why I think it's dead now. Um, so why would you do Tron? Like it just makes no
Yeah,
sense.
and then, I mean, it's like I get that
Well,
there's
real quick,
the
Joe.
yep,
Real
do
quick. My last thought about it is I'm wondering if this is like I don't want to say a strong arm tactic by Disney, but like, hey, we need you guys to want to try to do a HasLab for this, and it was Disney telling Hasbro that they need to do a HasLab.
Possibly.
I don't think I can disagree with that. I mean, the mouse has got his
It's just a
hands in
thought.
everything.
Exactly. And look, it is our property. You have the license for this, but this is what we want done, right? They do have a say in what Hasbro is doing for their for their licenses that they have. So part of me wonders if maybe it just was more Disney telling them to do it, because I just can't see anyone at Hasbro being that far off the mark to think that this might actually succeed.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. There's nothing else recently close slash current that is a Tron anything. Am I correct in that? Like, this is kind of the first offerings of action figure stuff like that. That's
They had stuff,
close to now.
and I don't remember what company, but when Tron Legacy had come out, around that time or shortly after, but there was like 6, 7 inch figures, something like that. Because I remember seeing them a bunch, and that's the kind of stuff that sat around in like Walgreens for eternity.
Mm,
It might still be at some.
gotcha. Because again, like I get, I don't disagree with E, where it's like this could be possibly something from Disney saying do this, but it just seems like it's so random, and like I just pulled up the backers from when you started talking about, or pulled up the thing and started talking about it, and we've been talking about it now for what 20 minutes or so, and it's not got one backer in that time, and it's still sitting at 1242, which I think it hit hard and hit 800, and then it's just been trickling up to that mark since then.
That'll
So
be a
Yeah,
hell
I
of a
mean,
promo spike. That's for
I
sure.
mean, I expect to see a little spike. There's always been a HasLab spike
mm,
for the most part, but I don't think you're going to see 8,000 backers for this to spike within the next 3 days.
yeah,
Definitely not. And another thing, like Hasbro's been so big on 6 inch figures for years now, right? This is their 6 inch, 6 inch, 6 inch, 6 inch. Why are you launching this line in two different scales at the same time? I don't think that's a good idea either. I really don't, because they're doing 6 inch figures also, right? So now you're dividing your very small fan base to begin with. Now you're dividing them. People. There are people who are like, yeah, I want to keep my 6 inch figures, 6 inch figures. To go to Joe's, go to Marvel Legends, go to Black Series, right?
mm,
My Lightning collection, the ones that did Lightning collection, and whatever else, right? But now you have a choice of 6 inch figures. You have, but then you have this one-off HasLab that's 3 3/4 that you're also using this to launch an entire new subline of 3 3/4 properties. This was just a bad move on their part, bad decision that backfired royally.
Yeah, I can't really say I disagree. I mean, I mean, again, we're looking at it's a horrible performance so far on a okay to ho hum fan base. And I don't mean anything bad about the fan base. I just mean it's not Star Wars size. It's not GI Joe size stuff like that. You know, it just seems odd. It just seems real odd. You know,
Maybe if the light cycles actually, I don't know, light it up, might be nice. I don't think these light cycles light up, I believe. So again, what are you thinking here?
what did who do we know which group designed got in on this? Like, was it like some of the Joe team mixed with some of the
I think it was a
Transformer
Star Wars team.
Star Wars team? And I feel like Star Wars had probably the most misses, well, failed backings, haven't they?
Well, they had
Because
The
wasn't
the
it
Reva
failed
lightsaber and the
Reva
the
Rancor.
and
Reva,
the
and then there
Rancor.
was the Rancor. Which when I say the most, I know it's not some huge number because most of them do succeed. Um,
I think there's only been 5 failed total HasLabs.
With Ghost Rider car.
Ghost Rider car,
Obviously
Reva.
Tron.
Well, I'm not counting Tron. It's the
Okay.
Ghost Rider car, Reva.
Cookie Monster,
Wait.
Rancor.
Ghost Rider car, Reva, Rancor, Cookie Monster, and wasn't there one of the games failed? Didn't one of the Hero Quest ones did fail?
No. That was actually a big success.
The first one, I thought they did a second one though.
No. It was just that initial run that they did, and yeah, that funded like no problem.
I thought there was something else.
Hit all the stretch goals, and then that one was made, and they had made it known during the campaign that it was going to be made available during retail as well. This was just like you were getting a much cheaper price buying that initial package on that particular HasLab.
Mm.
And that initial mythic tier that it did come with too, that sells for a lot of money. Like people spend pretty good amount for that.
Gotcha. Yeah, and the Unicron was. I know Unicron's always going to around there. So the Unicron's always going to have that asterisk next to it. You know. Um. Yeah, I remember thinking
Yeah,
back.
in 2022, the Age of Annihilation failed HasLab
What was
So
that?
what's that?
for HeroScape.
Oh, Hero Escape.
Yes, I said one of the games. I didn't remember the name
No,
of the
no, no.
game.
You
That's
want to know what? That offering was such shit. I forgot it even happened.
yeah. Okay, so I was like, I know I'm not fucking crazy here.
No, no,
Okay,
no, no. I got you. I
okay,
got you.
that was the yeah. So those have been the only failed HasLabs. Um, GI Joe hasn't failed yet. Marvel's only failed once. Transformers actually has not failed yet.
And that HeroScape
Asterix
thing,
next Unicron.
that HeroScape thing was supposed to be like their relaunch of the game, and
Hmm.
despite failing, they still launched it all anyway. They made changes to what and how they were offering things. To be fair, more to what the people wanted. Like there's reasons it failed. A
Yeah,
big one being unpainted miniatures, because that's what that original product was known for. Was for factory painted miniatures that were actually of pretty reasonable quality.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think with that one, it is what it is at this point. It's almost DOA. Um, it's stagnant at this point, and I get why the timing is what the timing is, but it's just a weird choice. I don't get it. And Jeff, yeah, you're right. It's just the ats for everybody. I don't know what's changed since last week, but I'm sure YouTube has upgraded their terms of service or some other BS.
Oh, I didn't even
So
think about it looking at it.
I didn't notice it till I responded to Vaughn about something. I was like, why does it say that? But yeah. So yeah, Jeff, I don't disagree. It probably was Wolfie. Um, he went in. He just got some keys to the setup here, so he's probably done went in and messed with the settings and everything. So, but anything else to add for the good of that one?
Well, quickly, I wanted to ask, what was it? Where did I see it? So Transformers failing in general overall, like the course of time, or did you mean HasLabs?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the way
I'm referring to the Has. Yeah, sorry, I
No,
was
no,
referring to
the
just the
comic.
HasLabs to clarify my statement when I said
Yeah.
Transformers hasn't failed yet.
Okay.
Yeah, now if I'm looking at it from what he saw, like some of them have, like, they went up, they spiked, and they've done this, and it's like, yeah, they've got 3,000 to go in 2 days or a day, and then all of a sudden it's that FOMO spike. But it's one of those things of if it made it, it made it. It didn't matter. Like this one, right? If this thing has been sitting at 1,200 backers for 40 days out of the 45 days that it's,
No worries, man.
you know, um, that it's been open, but that last day it gets those 8,500 backers, gets 10,000 and some change.
I'm calling shenanigans.
Oh,
I'm
I
calling
don't
shenanigans.
disagree. I don't
I'm calling
disagree.
shenanigans.
I don't disagree. But again, that's still a win.
Yeah, no, but no, it's not because I think they're just lying about the numbers and it really wasn't a win.
I know. I'm
I'm
not
calling
disagreeing with
shenanigans.
that, but just the technical aspect of, was it a win?
Yeah.
It's like a football game ending on a penalty where the score changed, but the penalty changed it. You know what I mean?
It's rigged. It's rigged.
I would not disagree.
It's rigged. Don't count. It's rigged. Don't count.
Well, this one will also have the asterisk next to it.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised if if your last minute spike is going to get up to maybe 3,000. Right? There's always usually been a last 24-hour spike. So if it hit 3 grand, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think it's gonna make it over 5.
I don't. I mean, if I was a betting man, I don't think it's going to go over 2,500. But I wouldn't be surprised at 300. That's fine. But
I mean, if anything, I think it's an interesting measure of let's figure there's however many people went to see this new movie in the theater because you're that much of a Tron fan, or just interested in general, or you're a moviegoer or whatever. How many of that? What's the percentage of those people that are collectors, and then collectors at that are also interested to have Tron in their house, not just like the passing interest? And when you look at how small that number is, like that's pretty ridiculous. When you really look at it, and if there's anything to be taken from this, feel fortunate that people actually give a shit about Transformers and G.I. Joe or just anything else.
And and not just give a shit, but give a shit with substantial prices on them too.
Yes.
Like, all right, well, I guess what price point do you all see this for? What you're getting? What price point do you think would be? And let's just assume they're still making a profit. Like, what would you assume would be a good price point for what is currently being offered
for the Tron?
For it to be successful, yeah.
So you're getting what, 5 figures, right?
You're getting 5 figures,
a display stand,
light up display, grid base, 2 light cycles, with removable, they can hold the figures. They got removable light walls.
Like, I understand that they need a profit and all that, but like, to me, this is not even $100 or something or other that they're offering you. Like, this feels like a cobbled together last minute product made by an off-brand company right before Christmas that you find in like the Ollies, right? That it doesn't feel like some premium product.
Is this like you go into Big Lots and you find the Transmorphers?
Basically, like, I was trying not to say like we're like Tuesday Morning or Bradley's or like old school places, but like that's what this feels like, the knockoff. This doesn't feel premium.
Listen,
I'm sure
to be honest,
plenty to do with it, but
I think I disagree.
Really?
5 figures, you figure. If you were
no. I'm not suggesting.
No, hear me out. 5 figures minimum retail. That's $100,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
If you're buying 5 figures, right? 2 light cycles. It's another what? The way they are, they're going to charge at least 30. Let's just say $30 a cycle, right?
Uh-huh.
If these were released. So now you're at $160, right? And now you have the light up display stand. Maybe it's a little overpriced, but as again, I don't think by much. I think the miss on these, if we're talking purely aesthetics and quality, are the 2 cycles. The
Yeah.
figures don't look bad for a 3 3/4 inch figure.
No, the face sculpt, like I'm looking at the pictures now, the face sculpt, if they are what they are, look friggin' fantastic. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but
It's just that it's the property they chose, right?
Yeah.
So it's Tron, right? Let's just, But I mean, I'm looking at these 3 3/4 figures, and I mean, they're pinless, they're articulated. They got good articulation, except for the single elbows, right? They don't look like they got double elbows, but they're pinless. They got the ab crunches, the face sculpts. Like these are not bad looking figures if you're a Tron fan. The all white color scheme with the white and the blue lends to a cheap look in general. Because I think this is just a failure of what you're designing it on. Those bikes look absolutely fucking horrible.
Mm.
I think if you
yeah.
were gonna light up anything, you light up the light cycle. Duh, it literally is a light cycle. Don't light up the fucking base. Light up the fucking light cycle. That to me. That's their biggest fuck up. The card backs look nice. They're individually carded. They got nice artwork on them. I, I, I'm gonna be that person. Maybe it's $30 too expensive. But it's it's Tron. It just does not work. Sorry, guys, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Well, I mean, that goes back. Let's just say you were interested, E. What price would be the price to get you in?
Look, if I was a Tron fan, 259 honestly doesn't sound bad,
Okay.
right? But if I
But
was a
for what
Tron
they're giving
fan,
you at that
I'd
price,
be
come on.
at the again at that. If I was a Tron fan, I'd have the same pissed off complaint. Why are my light cycles not lighting?
Yeah.
That's what I want lit. The fucking light cycle, right? But if I was a fan, I'd be going in on it. But I'm not a Tron fan, so I did not go in on it.
Gotcha. Gort, like same question. If you're a Tron fan, what price point, or is this price point accurate? Like, would get you
No,
like,
I
yep,
don't.
I'm
I think
back.
this price is ridiculous. Like
So,
I
what would get you in?
would not pay more than 150 for this if I was some kind of diehard Tron fan looking at what this is. And to be clear and explain like what my principles are in terms of buying a toy, when a company like Mondo is making these what I'll call pretty beautiful looking real Ghostbusters figures
Mm,
that are, right in that like 6-inch pocket. They look like the cartoon. They have, fair amount of articulation. They're pinless, all that kind of business. They
oh
have a
yeah.
lot of accessories. They come with, if you're doing the pre-order, you're getting the big ghost. You're getting like a Sam Hain or a Boogeyman or whatever. And then you get like Ray, for example, he's coming with Drool, the dog-faced goblin. You're getting a well-known ghost. Or they have the little rosebud ghost with the sled. I think Winston has that. And you're getting things that you never got in that original cartoon. But when you're trying to charge $100 a figure, and then it's $200 when it's coming with basically a
Mm,
big hunk of inarticulate plastic, the Sam Hain and the other thing, even if they have alternate faces and all that extra shit, like I get it.
yep.
But there's nothing about that offering that is better to me. Like the individual figure, $100 for a Peter or an Egon or whatever. It's not different than a NECA figure in terms of just looking at it and what it comes with in terms of accessories or paint or any of that. It's very, very similar. And I'm thinking particularly like the Ninja Turtles, just because that's another cartoon property. They're not very different looking. And those are like $35 and you come with just as many accessories, if not more.
Yeah.
Now
Oh,
you
dude,
might be getting slightly bigger stuff maybe with it, or like different type of pieces, like the translucent plastics and the mix of paints and colors. But that might be like the biggest bone I could throw them. But I can't pay what feels like triple value for something than what I want to pay for it or what I expect to pay for it from a competitor.
yeah,
And that's what this looks like to me. This looks like bullshit. There's no reason for this to be $260.
yeah. I agree.
I think part of it is also, I think, and we bring this up all the time, the Disney tax, the Disney license. I think,
Well, if Disney's trying to sell shit, they shouldn't be trying to upcharge you. Fuck them.
I definitely think, like if they own this property, right? Like they own GI Joe, and they made this exact same thing, this would probably be at least $75 cheaper.
Yeah,
But that Disney licensing, that Disney tax, that Disney fucks Hasbro over and over again. You see it, and what they can and can't do in these figures is why this is so fucking $270,
yeah.
$260, whatever.
And like everything is capable of being made well. Like again, I go back to the GI Joe classified lines. Like when I hold up, both of these are roughly the same price. When you break it down, this was the 4-pack. This is the horrible. You know, the recolor of the Alley Viper, and it's one of those things to where when I'm holding these in my hand, this feels superior. And it's not like it's better; it's significantly better. You know, I can't imagine what the cost of a transformer would be if it was built like these. And then but then you come to the Magic Square ones. This was 75ish, I think. Um, and that falls in between. Like it's significantly better than a mainline Transformer figure, but it feels just a hair less than.
Well, it's like the difference in materials and like, see, never mind the parts count of what you can get in terms of aesthetics with the Transformers,
Mm-hmm.
but just the materials that are going into some of these, because it's made to be like banged up by kids, so you have that like more rigid plastic because it's going to be all these flip flop pieces. When you have something static like the GI Joe, it's already that softer material, and it does feel nicer. And the harder plastics, they're durable and all, and not to say they can't break, especially due to tolerances, but they don't. They do kind of almost emanate a cheapness by comparison. And something like that Magic Square is interesting because they're like that more like nylon shit,
Mm.
um, which I both like and dislike at the same time. I like handling it, but I don't like the softness of the colors on those.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I was looking at the Dinobots. Had these been painted, or at least the red,
Yeah.
like what would be die cast on the original ones? Like would have been friggin' fantastic. And Rhinox, I can't think of what your other name was, but I apologize. But yeah, so 60, whatever it was. Thank you for that. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm
I don't know.
happy
I'm
with what I
gonna go
got.
ahead and say I like Rhinox.
Yeah,
Like, that's fucking boss name.
I thought we had all a bunch of new viewers. I'm like, look at all these new people. Fucking YouTube.
yeah. So
you talk about like the paint and things, like you have that like nice baked on paint or the die cast pieces, and something like a new age, just in terms of third party, like in that Dinobot type of realm, I think they crush it. And I think that Magic Square is the one that falls short. And that's not to say one is a better toy. I'm talking purely just the look, just the
yeah,
look.
one thing. So this is a tangent, but if I like the cleanness of the Magic Square, but I like the look of the New Age better. So in between those two, I think the New Age wins, especially for the Dinobots at least. But Vaughn, yeah, I think so. Vaughn asked if Hasbro increased the quality of Transformers line, would a higher price point be okay? I think at some point you've got to balance that. At what point is someone going to be priced out? Because it's already like it's getting to me to where like I'm already cherry picking anyway because my collection is coming to like there's not a whole lot left to fill in my collection, and when it's getting to that price point where what was it? There was something out there that just came out that's, and I'm drawing a complete and utter blank of what the hell it was. It was like 45. Oh, it was one of those. One of the Constructicons was like $45 a Mixmaster. Went up to 42. I have a hard time justifying that. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm finishing that line and I'm done. So, um, I think it depends on what price point, at what level is someone going to say, one, this is no longer a kid's toy just based on the price.
Yeah.
So, but I think we've got this one. So we can move on to our thumbnail, the Toys R Us one. So the news is it's back. So I think you want to lead the charge in that.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, we all know Toys R Us is pretty much in the U.S. gone out of business. We've been getting pop-up stores for the holidays for the last few years, um, but this year now they are relaunching standalone flagship year-round stores. Right? There are 8 of them being open around the U.S. Right? So we have Chicago. We have Camarillo, California. We have one in Hanover, Maryland, uh, Des Moines, Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska, Thornton, Colorado, Long Island, New York, and Wichita, Kansas. So these are going to be their 8 permanent stores right now. Um, I'm kind of curious, right? Um, what do you guys think of this? Do you think this is going to work? Do you think it's going to be successful? Do you what are your expectations? But also, what do you think is actually going to turn out of this?
I think it'll be fine. Not great, not outstanding, not back to we've got 500 stores across the country or anything like that. Um, I think having them like standalone brick and mortar in large cities would be their best route. Um, I used to have two close to me within 40-minute drive before they closed up shop. Um, Neither one of them was really all that busy, but I would say that both were in college towns. And I know that might seem a weird statement, but it's by that I mean it's like it's a bigger city, you know. Um, Two significant colleges too. So I mean, you had a good sized town already there to support that. Um, I think they're gonna. I think they're going to be relying on the lower end of the age spectrum, and then
I would think so.
currently upper 30s and to 50s maybe for people like us, you know. But if you also remember, and this goes back to kind of like what was asked about the price point stuff. If you always remember, at least how I would remember it, was Toys R Us was always that $5 or so more. You know, it's like the Toys R Us tax, if you will. So when you start adding those things on top of stuff that's already going up in price with a core group of young people, um, who are more into the digital aspect of things than physical things. At least that's what I see from when I see in the schools. Is I think you're going to have a hard time getting a lot of traction to start rebuilding that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they are still around in Canada.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're able to survive in Canada. Um, me and Gordon had a small conversation earlier about this. Um, so I'm in a few Marvel Legends groups, right? And I'll see people post pictures of like the shells of Marvel Legends, right? Just
Mm.
as an example, and pretty shocked, right, of different figures, right? Nothing like I've ever seen in a Target. I don't know what the future is going to hold for them. Some who made the comment right here. Um,
Kids buy
no,
Fortnite
not that one.
skins.
I'll get that. I'll get to that one.
And
Yeah, like
I'll talk to that.
it's a
I'll talk
bad
to support. You know,
it is a bad time with the economy right now not being great, but I'm pretty sure that this has been in the works for a while and this was the launch point. And I don't think you can push this back if you're really going to try to make a comeback and wait for the economy to get better. Like they've had the plans in place, they've been building it. Um, Tomorrow, the one by me in Long Island is like maybe 40 minutes away. Is opening day, right? And they're doing giveaway bags for the first 25, first 50 people. They got
Oh, and you're not
face
camped out for that?
no, they got face painting and balloon. Like they're trying to make a big thing of it, right?
Yeah.
Um, Great. I was hoping that I was gonna be able to go at some point tomorrow. My weekend is not looking like it's gonna happen. Um, I, I started thinking also about like, oh, what if they start doing Toys R Us exclusives again, right? I don't think you can do that though with only 8 stores,
no. I
right?
mean, unless you incorporate
These,
online as well.
yeah, because these stores are, you're you're literally right. You're still right now half the country isn't gonna have a Toys R Us near them, more than half, right? California's a big fucking place. You could, I don't know, depending where you live in California, you're not getting a Toys R Us. Same thing in New York. I'm fortunate enough and I'm lucky that it's only about 35-minute drive for me, which isn't too bad to go. But maybe 40 minutes traffic, whatever. It's New York. But yeah, like, I started wondering, like, started thinking about companies like Hasbro, right? I've heard Brink talk about this so much over the years about not advertising these things as well as they can because there is no place, there is no Toys R Us to walk into anymore. But now you have an opportunity, like, here's a big cardboard sign, you know, Haslabtron. Here's a QR code to scan to get you the Hasbro and go buy this HasLab now. You have a place to start advertising some of these things again.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm just, I'm very curious as to how this is going to work. I remember, I think, a lot of us have those memories of walking into a Toys R Us and here is an entire aisle filled of Transformers. Here is a G.I. Joe flag on display in an entire row of G.I. Joe, right? Um, I remember when Toys R Us was going out of business around that time, even before the going out of business started, it was becoming a pretty sad store to go into because they didn't have anything. You had your Lego section, you had your Barbie section, you had your Playmobil section, but it was all mostly young kids and junk toys is what I felt like.
Like I remember, so one, I want them to. I would love for them to succeed.
Same.
I hope nothing but the best. But it's like it seems like here, one thing so a couple things. One thing I've noticed is say Walmart is someone pointed this out to me, and I'm like, huh, what? So I've got two WalMarts within a 15-minute drive of me. What one? There are things that one carries that the other does not.
Hmm.
Okay, and I think this is just weird. Um, and it's not like, oh, we carry this college and then we carry this college. It's not. It's like something like that. Because one's closer to the other. But like, remember me telling you all that my Walmart did a reset about a month and a half ago, 2 months, and there's not one Studio Series Transformer, Age of the Primes Transformer. It's all aimed at the kid show Transformers, right? The only thing that I know that anyone in the group that even collects it, they've got there is the blockies, and they're still selling. Um, the last wave that this same Walmart stocked for GI Joe Classified was the wave with Spirit in it. Um, and it goes beyond just toys too. Like here's where my old man comes out. Like this time of year, Walmart comes out with a cranberry hibiscus tea, a hot tea. This one doesn't have it this year. It doesn't have a lot of that whole little baking section in the food aisle. Now the other Walmart, it's got shelves with GI Joe, had Motu Origins, Revelation, um, well stocked with Age of the Prime Studio series and some of the other stuff from the other store, right? Um, so I'm curious, I'm curious one why that's happening, but point being, it's still it's well stocked compared to, but it's not great. Um, and Target seems like with almost any property now, short of like Matchbox or Hot Wheels, it's like we've got a section 4 feet wide, with three levels of pegs, and it's like two. If you wanted to fill up, you'd have to have like one or two figures per peg to just make it look full, right? There's just the product's not there. So
Real
one
quick,
thing I'm go
I
ahead.
will counter that, and I get and I understand why you wouldn't notice, right? But like the one thing that Target does do that reminds me of the old Toys R Us is the Barbie aisle. They have an entire aisle dedicated to Barbie front to
They
back.
do, they do.
Barbie and Lego. Those are the two that they do still that you can
Hmm.
see are dedicated tons and tons of different
Yep.
products.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's Barbie, it's girls. Barbie's obviously, and like you said, Hot Wheels. We notice because we go over there when we're looking at the action figures. Hot Wheels is you like for me. I have like one side is like where they have the Turtles and the WWF and Star Wars are on one side, and on the other side of that aisle is all the Hot Wheels, right? So I do see the Hot Wheels, but I go to Target with my daughter, and it's always she wants to walk the toy aisles. She always wants to walk the toy aisles, so it's always down the Barbie aisle. So yeah, Barbie is still that one product like Hot Wheels that just seems to have stood that test of
Multi-generational staying
time.
power.
Yes, it does
Yeah.
exactly. But you're right. Like I, two pegs of Joe's, two pegs of Motu, and that's it for me. A little bit of
You're lucky to get 2 pegs.
Transform. Oh, they're empty, but they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Now, someone asked, like, what do kids nowadays buy? So I feel like one Legos, like, so I work in I work in a middle school, and I see a lot of Legos. This year, I'm seeing like one table at lunch of sixth graders who have a bunch of Sonic toys.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but most of it is digital. Like most of it, like I had a kid, like he was bragging because he's got like, and again, I don't know whether he's telling me the truth because I don't know. He's got like I've got over 200 character skins in Fortnite, and I was talking to him like, okay, well, what happens when they shut down the game? And he goes, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, at some point the game will probably, lose popularity, blah blah blah, or you'll quit playing it. What happens to all that money you've spent? Like, what do you have to show for it? And it's just like he had a blank expression, like, what do you mean?
I don't understand.
No, he didn't. And
Yeah,
then I was
yeah.
like, I said, was this your money or your parents' money? He goes, well, it's both, I earn. I was like, all right, cool.
At
And
some
I was like,
point, everybody's gonna get that experience, and that's the wake-up call.
yeah. And
Yep.
Yeah.
I said, at some point, this game is going to shut down, or you're going to decide, I'm done. I'm too old. Whatever. I don't like it. What do you physically like? What do you have to show for it? And he was like, and then you could see like the oh crap come over his face.
Memories.
He's got memories, yeah, but I mean, when he started realizing nothing, like this is just it's because it's like I explained, I'm like it's just code. Like you don't, there's nothing you get to carry on to something else, you know. But
You'd make
I'm,
a great Santa, Joe.
huh?
Talk about fucking breaking the kid's heart.
A lot of kids need reality. I'm not gonna lie.
Uh-huh.
But no, I'm excited for this. I really am excited because like y'all know me. I've talked about this almost every show. Or like those nostalgia feels. Like I love going into like and this is going to kind of play into my topic. But I the like going into the Toys R Us and just like the smell, the atmosphere, the fluorescent light, like that kind of stuff, and like remembering what aisle was where, like walking through my head and stuff like that, and being excited for this, being excited for that. I really do want them to succeed. I wish them the best. I think it's going to be it's if it progresses, it's going to be a long, slow grow.
Yeah, I think they have to really concentrate on two markets right now, or maybe three. The girls, because like I said, things like Barbie still just keep going to a
Hmm.
certain age. Um, Young kids' toys, and start maybe looking at gearing towards the adult collector
which is something I think they had failed to do in the latter
previously.
stretch there.
Yes,
Um,
it's
and at one
adult
point in time,
collector
like action figure, aisle used to be just pumped with stuff, especially going through like the 90s and early 2000s. But then more and more lines started to die out. Like I feel like there was just less stuff available in the first place.
Yeah,
Is
and I feel like
part of what
there's
it was. But
with us, with our generation, we had a crap ton of franchises
Mhm.
that you could choose from, and
yes, yes.
even at the minimum, each franchise might only have two pegs, but that's something, you know. And kids still today have a lot of variety in what is out there, but a lot of it is not physical; it's digital. It's online,
Yeah.
you know. But I think that's one of the things that kind of helped Toys R Us was the fact that age of 30-minute TV commercials that projected to us that caused us now to spend hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. So
The general thing with these kind of stores at this point. I barely bother. Like I used to go at least weekly. I would stop into Toys R Us, or once in a while, like you do like the toy run. And I would
hmm
drive
hmm
in a big circle, and where I lived, there was like 3 Toys R Us and the 4 or 5 Targets and a couple Walmart. Like you would hit everything because it was there, and I could go in and out of that in like 2-ish hours time.
yeah,
Um,
see,
and fun thing about that, Dom used to do similar toy drives, living in the same area. But yeah, it was a lot of good circles, and sometimes it would be the Walgreens circle, and you'd skip the other stuff, just looking for whatever there might be. But like for me, those days are kind of gone because the stuff that I want, it's not really. If like they kind of stopped selling a lot of things in the stores, or it's so easy to just get it online. It's very clean. A lot of the exclusives, they don't. Stuff still sells out, right? But it's more readily available after like a street date, for example. Like pre-orders might sell out, but then everything is readily in stock. Not everything, but a lot of things.
mm,
Like I'm not hauling ass trying to get to Targets in the morning, hoping that I got the fresh load off the truck or whatever. I don't have to
yeah, and
like
worry
that
we
about
were
that.
for the Joes when they first launched.
Oh, that
yeah
was miserable.
yeah
We couldn't find fuck all.
no,
Yeah,
but I think that
the
speaks
Cobra
to some.
Island stuff. Yeah.
I think that speaks to something that what I was thinking too with Toys R Us is like it was an event to go to Toys R Us. You know, it was something meaningful, I guess. Like it was a special treat kind of thing. Because now, like, again, for me, like when I was a kid, like I said, I had two that were within about 40-minute drives of me. I only knew a one. My parents never told me about the other one until I went to college in that town, and I stumbled upon it accidentally by myself. And I had a long conversation with my parents. Why did y'all not tell me this was here? And they're like, well, we didn't want to have to take you all the time. I mean, I get it. Now the other one, 40 minutes away, as a kid, it just seemed like it took forever to get there. And I think that's because like interstate wise, it's about 40-minute drive. But we would always take like, the scenic 2-lane highway, blah, blah, blah. So as a kid, it seemed like it took forever to get there, like an hour plus, which probably did considering the way that the route goes. But the one I remember the most is there was Richmond and Roanoke. I'm kind of for the if you want equal distance to both of them, and it was like 90-minute
All right,
drive, but it was an event. What do you say?
gentlemen, you guys keep talking. I got to be right back.
Okay, but like it was like a 90-minute drive to get there. So when it was like you'd go to Toys R Us, like then you would go to like the KB in the mall and the other one or two random toy stores that were in the mall, and like Joe's Toy Shack that was just like some standalone little thing or in a strip
Hmm.
mall or something like that. And then the Walgreens and stuff. Because again, we didn't like I didn't have a Target in this area until 12, 15 years ago. So I mean, my little area is slowly building up. But like it was an event, like it was a thing to go to, to see all the cool stuff. And now again, you go on, you just open your Amazon app and you can see all this stuff. You can find whatever you want within 30 seconds, whether it's in stock or not or whatever, you know. But it was an event, and I think that's part of that nostalgia too. That Toys R Us oomph, if you will, would be of just how special it was, and it's gonna I think hard to recapture that. You know.
Yeah. Look, all the Toys R Us talk, but like the KB toys, I
Mhm.
I would much prefer to have that. Like I
You'd
got
rather
way
have KB
more. Well, I have
over
way more nostalgia for KB toys than Toys R Us. Toys R
swap
Us
that.
was the big store, and yeah, they had the full aisles of everything, but KB had all the everything else, and some things were only sold in that store. Like they didn't make it into a Toys R Us, like just smaller lines
Mm,
of just knick-knack kind of toys, or whatever might have been some kind of closeout or whatever. But
yeah.
yeah, there was always good stuff in there, and I never felt like I saw that same variety in the Toys R Us.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Um,
definitely big mainline stuff. You would definitely see the Joes and the
yeah.
Transformers
Oh
and the
yeah.
Care Bears. You wouldn't see Pirates of Dark Water or maybe even
Yeah,
Heathcliff
exactly.
or something like that.
But
But
like you say, like the Pirates of Darkwater, or there were like SWAT Cat figures, like things like that. Like that was all in KB Toys, like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter stuff. I don't remember seeing that stuff in Toys R Us. And I'm not going to tell anybody that was never there, but I remember seeing everything like that. All that more off-brand, less mainstream stuff that was always in the KB.
yeah, yeah, I
Suncoast Video, like those kind of places, Sam
oh yeah, they
Nitty.
were cool.
They used to get all the kind of collectibles, and that's
Robotech. That's where I got my
they,
first Robotech figures as a another quote unquote adult.
yep. Yep, and that was also like knickknack stuff or something that was maybe more adult aimed as far as like a potential collectible or some sort of display piece or like small statues. Like I remember picking up like aliens statues like made by Palisades and things like that in Suncoast. Like that's my first statues once upon a time.
Yeah, and it's definitely like if you were into something like Dragon Ball or something, anime
Yeah.
related from Japan or whatever, like that was kind of the place to go. Those
That's
statues.
100% the place for that, or like the comic stores. And look, you're talking earlier, like you didn't know you had this other Toys R Us nearby. And I immediately thought in my head, I was like, dude, you didn't have yellow pages? Like, you didn't check that? But
Why
I
would I?
only, I yellow pages?
Oh no, no. I'm saying why would
Oh,
I? Like I wouldn't.
I
I
don't
wouldn't
know. I don't
think.
know. But I was always looking in that, and like I would think up any kind of combination of words to get me the result that I might want because things are listed by like business and
Yeah.
not always category. It depended, what they're paying for. But I would be looking for like comic stores and things. I used to ride my bike to a lot of places, looking for things.
The little town I grew up in, um, it's got no traffic lights whatsoever. It's only a mile long with an offshoot kind of backside of the town, and I think it's got maybe five stop signs at it, six,
Hmm.
less than 10 definitely. And this guy put in a comic book shop on the side of like this old building, and he really didn't do much business kind of thing. He was there maybe a year, and I don't even remember. It was more of it was like it had comics. Let me rephrase that. It had comics. It wasn't a comic book shop, but he had like a lot of like sporting cards and like remember the old X-Men collector cards?
Yeah.
Like that's where I got all of them. All the ones I got from his shop. Like I found this big chest of pennies downstairs. My parents were like, "Yeah, it's just pennies that some relative gave them. That doesn't really mean it. It's not like there's some rare penny in there or some crap like that." So I just started rolling pennies and quarters and dimes and stuff like that, and that's how I bought them. Now I got kids in school going, "Yeah, I've got $500 in my Cash App because I told mom I needed more money. She just sent me $500." And I'm like, "What the hell?" I got kids carrying around $400 pairs of shoes just to show I've got a pair of $400 shoes. and like we've got some kid had like a the Beats by Dre earphones, just showing them off, just fashion statement. That's all it was, because you're not allowed to have them, not allowed to have anything connected to them, because you're not allowed to have cell phones and smart devices. But he's just wearing them around just as a fashion device or a fashion statement of look what I can afford, you know. But and that seems to be the draw nowadays. So what's is Toys R Us going to be has they're going to have to do something beyond just toys, I think, or they're going to be tiny little stores. So I remember the one I went to up in when BotCon was up in Jersey, and like it was cool, but it was also like it was almost like the wall of Marvel Eternal figures at Ollie's.
Yeah, I mean, look, the coolest part about that place was the sign out front.
I don't remember what was so cool about the sign.
No, I'm just saying it was just the Toys R Us sign. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. That shouldn't be the most exciting thing, because you go in and it's just like a big room of disappointment.
Yeah.
It's not the same type of place. Like nothing about it is the same vibe even. It doesn't feel like you're in that location. Not the Toys R Us, you're just in some store that has toys.
Yeah.
Like the aisles are set up different. It's just not the same.
Yeah. But like the Toys R Us that like I would love to see them kind of do their old like the ones around me, I don't know if how it was around you, but like the ones like they had the like the painted 4x4s or whatever it is, like it was like
the panels.
Yeah, the wooden painted panels up front.
That was last one I remember still looking like that was in Freehold, and I feel like it would have been painted up before it was shut down. I don't remember. It starts to it's pretty faded, honestly. Yeah. Like the one that I can remember best was the big Toys R Us over in Elizabeth outside the by the IKEA. That thing was massive.
All of mine I remember being the same size, and I remember the one in Richmond used to be downtown by a mall, which was always very awesome. Like that one I love going to, because we would go to the toy like just the way the road was. We'd stop at Toys R Us first, and then the next thing we would go to would be a department store. It was called Best, BEST, and like it was, I was going to say it would be a little bit more of an upscale Kmart kind of aspect. And like there, I remember getting I vividly remember two things from that Best store. One is getting Perceptor, like it's sitting on the shelf, and me picking it out, being just awed by this thing. And then two would be my Voltron figure that's up right there. Yep. Like I remember picking that one up, and my dad's like, "You sure you don't want the metal one because it's sturdier and blah blah blah." But in my kid brain, I wanted that one because it was like that much taller and bigger was better. So, and then we go to the mall, and then of course the mall you had. I think there was at least two toy stores in there. It was like the KB and then some other brand.
Are we still talking about Toys R Us?
Vaguely.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
The biggest, real quick, my last thing about Toys R Us, the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to doing is because she never had the chance to take my 8-year-old into Toys R Us.
Oh, okay.
And seeing what she looks like, seeing what her reaction is to a toy store that big, right? Because she's still into toys for now. Eli, he's 16, so he had been in toys. We had taken him to Toys R Us plenty of times. But this would be, and if we took her into the Toys R Us, maybe, when did they close? 2018 is when they all went out.
I feel like it was around 2020. I feel like everything was kind of hovering around that.
She was such a baby at the time, like just it don't count.
So
Toys R Us closed all its U.S. stores on June 29th, 2018. Yeah, she was a year old.
Oof.
Because it's been almost 7 years. She's 8 now. So.
God, when did we get old?
I remember the last time I went into Toys R Us. One thing I got lucky on, one thing I kicked myself in the ass about. I actually I walked by their stock room, the doors, and I saw some boxes that said Marvel Legends. So I literally walked into their stock room and took the boxes out, right? And it was a bunch of those AIM 2-pack figures, right? But the set that I kept passing up on, and I don't know why, was they had the 5 pack Marvel Legends of the original X-Men, and I kept passing that up, and that
Nice.
set is now so expensive now. And their original looks, original uniform, Beast was still human looking, Angel had his wings, and but yeah, like I walked into the storeroom and someone yelled, "You can't be in here." I said, "Okay, I'm just leaving anyway," and I literally walked out with the boxes.
I
Bought them
remember.
all. I bought all of them. It was like 8 sets and sold them all.
I remember. I can't remember the name of the figure. I could walk downstairs and pick it up, but it was a Titans Return figure, and it was one of the ones where it's just like the headmaster with like a little vehicle or whatever they would sit in, a little $5 thing. I didn't want it, didn't care for it, but I knew that this would be my last trip to Toys R Us before they closed up, and I was like, I want to remember the last thing I bought from a Toys R Us, because Toys R Us was one of those institutions. It'd been around forever, like when Sears closed. Um, and I remember buying that and having this feeling of finality. That feeling of this is a chapter that's closing, and now that it's reopening, I'm thinking it's not the same book. You know,
Oh, I thought you might be thinking you'll buy something better this time.
hey, you never know. Jedi and I were, we're a couple of us in the DMV realm stuff. We're talking about maybe trying to get together when that thing opens up, and kind of making a day
The
of
one in
it.
Maryland.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know the one in Long Island is opening up tomorrow, right?
Oh,
I have to
let's see.
like I would tell you guys to look it up because I would think that you would want these stores open in time for the holiday rush.
Yeah.
So if they can get it done, I saw a comment in here somewhere. Someone I forgot,
Mm,
I didn't highlight it. They said that they know where it's supposed to open near them, but they haven't seen any signs in the mall about it, which is like I'm surprised because, like I said, I think you'd want to know. And I mean, this is really not hasn't been advertised that much. Like been pushed in your face. Toys R Us is coming back. I'm a little surprised by that. A lot of people didn't even know. Even in the collecting community, not everybody knows that Toys R Us is officially coming back with 8 flagship stores. Um,
yeah. What I'm seeing, it's like a quote unquote. Um, I don't want to say pop up. It sounds like it's a bigger than a pop up. A holiday shop at the mall in Columbia. It opened at the end of last month. Jedi, if you're still here, let me know if that sounds right. Um, but you know, so, but I wish them the
let's
best of
see.
luck, and kind of hope that they do well, and I hope that kids have that same experience that we had. This walking in and just being of awe about it.
So the one in Maryland is in Hanover, Arunda Mills. That's the flagship permanent store. There's going to be 30 pop-ups also made being going up, but they're not staying open. They're just their normal pop-up holiday shop seasonal stores.
Yeah, it looks like it is open. It doesn't have a date, but the Rondell Mills is open. It looks like so. But best of luck to them. Carry on. So Jedi looks. So according to Google, it looks like it's open. I don't know. I smile and nod at this stuff anymore. So
Hmm.
it's all for now.
It'll never be what it was
No,
for us, right?
for us, no. I'm just hoping that you know when you take your kid in, they have that awe moment. Like,
And it's going to be hard, like you said, because there's really only 8 of them being open year round, right?
mhm,
Which leaves, which gives access to a limited population right now. I mean, part of the problem was that there were too many Toys R Us's at one point. You know, like I lived in Manhattan in New York. there were three at one point. We had three Toys R Us stores in Manhattan: 14th Street, 34th Street, and then they had that crazy, insane one for anyone who had ever been to London Times Square with the life-size Jurassic Park dinosaur and the indoor carousel. That was just a tourist trap. That one
Mm-hmm.
was right by. That was just a tourist trap. I went in there. I couldn't even walk in there. You're seeing "I Love New York" T-shirts and mugs and stuff on the first floor. This massive candy shop that they had in there. Like it was a whole experience, but everybody's walking in there, but nobody's shopping in there,
Mm.
right? Because it's all tourists.
This is just perfect.
Oh, if they can make money off of saying "bruh" and 6'7", they'd be good. So, anything else for the calls on this one, fellas?
No, I mean, yeah, I think we said what we had to say about Toys R Us. Wish them luck. Um, don't forget the adult collectors, guys. If you're listening out there, don't forget the adult collectors. The adult collectors are the ones that are buying the GI Joes and the Marvel Legends and shit like that. If you're going to be carrying them in the first place,
Yeah, I definitely like I said, I think it's going to be that young group, and it's going to be us, kind of the ones that, because that in between phase is
it's dead.
hard ones. Yeah, it's everything. You don't
I
see.
mean, I'm sure they'll have a Lego section. I'm sure they'll probably have a Nerf section.
Yeah.
Again, that's another thing that always has never gone out. Hot Wheels, but
Oh yeah,
be
let me
smart. Be smart this time.
Yeah, you all will appreciate this. Talking about the Nerf gun, so like Nerf Orbeez gun, stuff like that. 2 years ago, and then started again at the end of last school year. Friggin' kids started playing like it was called like Student Assassin or something like that. But it's a game where basically each student is giving like a list of other students to go after, and it caused so much drama. People were painting up their Nerf guns. I'm like, don't paint them like that. Keep man. So, but yeah, that was real interesting, and I'm just like, make better choices.
Right.
Just stupid stuff.
Wow, I don't know who Marcellus is. Sorry, guys, I don't recognize anybody's names anymore. Thank you, YouTube. It's talking mid-December. That sucks.
Yeah.
They're really missing out. They're really missing out on a huge portion of the holiday season.
Yeah.
So, well, gentlemen, I think it's been a good night so far. Appreciate the group chat coming in, shooting at us, giving us some stuff. Hit me up if y'all got questions or stuff later. But I think we'll go ahead and wrap up here. And tell us about you, where we can find you, if that's something that you want. Or
Oh, I'm not telling you shit about me, but you
That's
can
fine.
find me here every Friday night, and you can find me trolling people in the Facebook groups.
Gotcha. Oh, and real quick, didn't you get a surprise gift this week?
Nope.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I thought it was a blanket to keep you warm. I thought you were
Nope.
chilly. No? Oh, okay.
Nope.
Gort?
You got me confused.
Oh. Just another Phillies fan. Gort, what you got?
What do I got?
Yeah, what do you got?
I got some. Let's see. I got some dirty dishes from my dinner. I got to bring upstairs.
You can post those
Pretty
in Rumble
thirsty. I
Cooks.
finished a bottle of water.
Hey, you
No.
got to stay hydrated.
I'm telling you what I don't got. It sounds like.
Bring the
Yeah.
dirty dishes to GameStop tomorrow to turn them in,
Sorry. So real quick,
or
what's
next
the deal
week,
with
or
that?
whenever
Like,
it is.
have they given you like a definite list of what not to bring?
Yeah, there's a list out there of what
There's
they're
a
not
list.
accepting, but and anything that would have been fun to watch is all on that list, But yeah,
Bless them.
GameStop trading anything December 6th.
Yeah, now that's an interesting evolution, but I'm not going to start another conversation right now. So, all right. Well, I think everyone in the chat's already aware of what we got going on for the realm. You know, hit up our other shows during the week. We got something just about every night, with the exception of Thursday nights. Maybe we need a Thursday night flex squad or something like that. Cooking show, who knows? You know, if you want your realm apparel, check out the store. Get it out. You got jackets, hoodies, shirts, all kinds of stuff. You got the Eric B special with no sleeves. So, but other than that, I think we're done talking for the night. Have a good weekend.
Joe,
What?
Where can we find you?
You can find me right here every other Friday. But you know, Facebook. I got an Instagram account and don't really do much with it. I just kind of lurk and stuff.
Stare at hot celebs. Yeah.
Stare at what?
Stare at hot celebrities. That's all I do on Instagram.
I don't really care for celebrities. I'll be honest with you. If celebrities are some of those people that can they can just disappear, I'm fine with that. I'm of the mindset that we pay too many celebrities too much for what little they do. But that's me. Other than that, anyone else got anything good for the calls?
No, I'll be posting on broadcast at Hangout link as soon as we're done.
Cool. All right. Other than that, thank y'all for coming and hanging out. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and have an awesome weekend. Deuces.
Peace.
Say it with me now.
Realm.